Rant. We're back today for a pregame show as the Chicago Bulls are set to face off against the Miami Heat at home. This is the first of two games against the Miami Heat in Chicago. Can the Bulls get back on a winning track tonight? Maybe build off what they did in the second half against the second Orlando Magic game? Hopefully. We'll talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And how are the Chicago Bulls going to piss us off tonight? That's the question that is on the tip of everybody's tongue, wondering what the Chicago Bulls are going to do to piss off their fan base yet again. Let's hope it's nothing, right? I think that's the hope, right? Is that the Chicago Bulls come in, and it'll be like one of the most Chicago Bull type things to do, to have this team come in and they beat the Miami Heat handily, right? That's the type of thing that they're going to do. The Miami Heat are a hot team right now in the NBA, and so the Chicago Bulls are going to want to be on their P's and Q's, play the better brand of defense, hopefully shoot the ball more effectively and efficiently. It's going to be important for the against a team like the Miami Heat that are a scrappy team, right? They're on a 7-game winning streak is the Miami Heat. I thought it was something like that. They're 7-3 over their last 10. So let's hope the Chicago Bulls can come in and take care. Well, not come in. They're at home. Hopefully the Chicago Bulls can take care of business, because right now it isn't looking good for Bulls fans. The Bulls are on the exact opposite of that. Over our last 10, we're 3-7. Keep in mind, we only got 4 wins on the season so far. So how the Bulls handle and take care of business today is going to be important, man. Can the Bulls take care of a Miami Heat team that, again, you already know what the Miami Heat are going to be, right? And why it can be a struggle for the Chicago Bulls. The Miami Heat are one of the best coached teams in the NBA, period, right? And so, you know, Billy Donovan always does have issues with teams that are extremely well coached. The Miami Heat aren't like amazing or anything. I think they're like the 20th ranked offense so far in the league. So, you know, you want to take a look at that for sure. And we'll see how that plays off in favor for the Chicago Bulls. Can they take care of enough business? They're also the 7th ranked defense in the league, right? Led by Jimmy Butler. And you know what that team can be, and especially once they get on the shooting rhythm. Tyler Herro's leading the team in points per game at 22.9. You got Bam Adebayo with 22.7. And you got Jimmy Butler with 21 points per game. So they have 3 20-point per game scores. But that's something that has always hurt the Chicago Bulls against the Miami Heat, is allowing their shooters to go off. So Duncan Robinson as well, averaging 14 points per game, could be big for that team as well. Kevin Love is absolutely giving us fits at times. He's not really playing a lot of minutes for the Miami Heat, only averaging 17 minutes per game right now for the Miami Heat. So we'll end up seeing what that kind of looks like for against the Bulls. But listen, this is still a team that's beatable, right? And that's the thing. Tyler Herro is out. I almost forgot about that. Tyler Herro's out, so eliminate the Tyler Herro part of it. But you got Duncan Robinson starting in his place. And Duncan Robinson is a player that's killed the Chicago Bulls before. So, you know, we got to see how that's going to take care of business. Bam against Vooch. Vooch should be able to score against Bam, but we'll end up seeing what that means. So, I don't really know how to feel about this game. I don't know how to feel about this game. I don't know how to feel about this team right now. And we'll end up seeing what is going to happen, man. You see what happened. But yeah, so that's what it is. Unfortunately, with where we sit with this team right now, just to be 100% honest, there's no reason in hell to pick the Chicago Bulls to win a goddamn thing. Right now, we are playing like a team that has no heart, that has no desire, has no goals, has no aspirations. That's what the Bulls are playing like. Yeah, we see little bits of flashes. Alex Caruso, everything I just said doesn't apply to him because he's the one player that consistently shows all those things. But listen, we have one of the worst coaches in the league in Billy Donovan, who Billy Bubblegum Donovan is what I call him, and we don't give a damn about him. Zach LaVine right now listen, I give him credit for the second half that he had against the Orlando Magic. But let's be clear here. Zach LaVine, even taking away that, has not shot the ball well all season. He hasn't finished well around the rim all season. You can say the same thing about DeMar DeRozan as well. Our core three right now are averaging some of the worst shooting splits they've ever had in their career, and they're mainly offensive players. So that's going to bring its own thing and its own issues. Billy Donovan's already said that Alex Caruso is going to be starting at the 4 for the foreseeable future, so you can expect to see a small ball lineup as well. But I will tell you this, with the way that Alex Caruso is shooting the ball so far in the season, I like him now better than what I had before playing the small ball for, because one of the things with playing small ball, the thing that you're supposed to take advantage of is you're supposed to take advantage of matchups and being able to hit 3-pointers at a higher clip if you're going to play small. But guess what? Alex Caruso is bringing that this season, and he's been extremely consistent at it. Is he always averaging a lot of points per game? No, but Alex Caruso is shooting the ball right now 50% from three. That is the highest mark so far in his career, and it's not like he's not taking as many. He's tying his average for most 3-pointers taken per game and hitting that at a 50% clip. Alex Caruso's balling. He's also averaging right under a block per game. He's averaging 4 rebounds per game, a little bit under 3 assists per game, 1.5 steals per game. Alex Caruso's balling, and right now having him in the starting lineup, bringing that energy is really important for the Chicago Bulls team that looks absolutely lethargic. Right? And you can't bet on shit from Patrick Williams. At this point, if you're going to start Alex Caruso, don't be surprised if Patrick Williams starts playing little to no minutes at all if he's not bringing the energy in his first stint out there. Because listen, he's been bad, y'all. It's been some flashes. It's been some solid. I think he had a 3-game stretch where he's played pretty okay, right? But it's going to take a lot more than being pretty okay to keep your spot in the rotation now that energy Alex Caruso is in the building. So we'll end up seeing, man, like I said, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer. I don't want to completely shit on the team and whatnot, especially after my rant yesterday. But when it comes down to it, until this team shows us that they give a damn about winning basketball games, there's no reason to expect them to win basketball games, right? So, it is what it is when it comes down to it. Like, the way that I look at it is like this. Even if the Bulls do get a win, it's just like having a girl who don't like to suck dick. She may do it just to shut you the fuck up, right? But she ain't blowing your fucking mind, right? So that's what it comes down to. This team is a bunch of dick suckers who don't like to suck dick. That's how I feel about it. It is what it is there. But let's see how you guys are feeling about this game, man. We got Cookie Cat says, can't wait to lose tonight. That's hilarious. What up, Carlos? Glad to have you in the building, brother. Wouldn't be surprised if we win this game because the Bulls always got to show you some hope for no reason after they make you mad every night. That's 100% fact there, brother or sister. I don't know which one you are. Yes, YouTube. No, notify me. Haize has been unlocked. Let's go. That's funny. Glad to have you in the building, Scott. Hello, Haize. Not excited for this much. Darren, I don't blame you, bro. Don't blame you at all. Alejandro is in the building, says, Haize, when the Bulls start the rebuild, you mind covering young prospects? Well, they're not. I keep telling you guys, this team is not going to rebuild. And it sucks because probably they should, right, at this point. But from all indications and everything that we've heard from insiders, they don't plan to go full rebuild. Azamate says, whoa, let's go. Is that the woo from Ric Flair? Let's go, Bulls. Can't wait to trail by 20 points and then come back to lose by 3. Hey, listen, they got to give us a little excitement in there, right? With all the trade talk, Tyler Hero versus Zach is kind of a thing right now, or at least will be a thing tonight. And people are going to talk about it tomorrow. Well, Tyler Hero, I believe, is not playing in this game. I think he's going to be missing in this game. So they won't hustle, that's for sure. I'll settle on for them scoring more than 40 points at halftime as a win. Is that what we've come to? That's crazy. This franchise has me in jiu-jitsu. There's no way I'm about to watch these motherfuckers play tonight. That is hilarious. Here we go. Hope today we win and don't have to vent later tonight. Listen, I've done all my venting. At this point, I ain't got no venting left in me, man. Damn, we've been playing so bad I didn't even realize we had 4 wins. It doesn't feel like it, right? It's a game today. Fuck, yep. Miami Heat today, and then I think we play again Sunday, I believe, is when we play again. I usually have the Bulls schedule remembered in the back of my head, but I've been so stressed out about this team. So, yeah, no, Saturday and Monday. So we have a couple of days off. Today is Saturday. I know we can't play Sunday because we played Friday. I'm stupid. But yeah, so we played them again Monday as well in Chicago. Luis says, headed to the game today, Haize. Well, I hope you have a great time and hopefully the Bulls get a dub. If I was coach, my team selection today, Alex Caruso, Biggie Bagel, Nicole Lewis Vuitton, Cuppy Coffee, and some kid from a U14 league, local league. That's hilarious. Shout out to BKR Sport. Can the Bulls come out and actually start strong and avoid the deep deficit syndrome they seem to love? Let's hope. I mean, listen, and that's the thing. If you go back and look at the Bulls' last 3 losses, right, eliminate one quarter that they just got completely obliterated in, they win most of those games, at least 2 out of those 3 games. So let's hope that the Bulls show up and play a full 4 quarters of basketball today. Markel says, I plan on wearing my jersey every game of the season. Haven't put it on once this season, and I don't regret it at all. As you can see, no Bulls gear for me today. No Bulls gear for me today. So there you go on that one. It's very rare you don't see me in Bulls gear. So such a shame we went all in on continuity and instead got continuous. What? Content? I don't even know what the fuck. My brain is not working today. Zach and Billy hate each other. Listen, Zach and Billy, yeah, they definitely hate each other. Haize, when the Bulls start, I already talked. Oh, stop it. I hate it when people ask double questions. I hate that. The Windy City Bulls are down one at halftime, entertaining first half. Yeah, I was watching that game before I started this. As AC Patrick Williams had 0 points. Yep, Patrick Williams had 0 points. How confident are you tonight? Not confident at all for him. Not confident at all. We here for the team regardless, but if we have to be a Debbie Downer, we're going to Debbie Downering. It is what it is, bro. Means we love the team enough to be realistic past our love. And that's really what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. What's up, MC Season? Glad to have you in the building, my brother. Yo, question, Haize, what do you think we could get back for P. Will? Listen, they're not trading P. Will. Right now, you'd be lucky to get back 2 nut sacks for P. Will. Like, that's crazy. I did take that how you will. That's all I'll say on that one. I'm actually not drunk at all. Not drunk at all. Not drunk. This is just me. This is just me. Let Julian Phillips play. I mean, at this point, why not? What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Jokes aside, I think we can win. We normally match up well against. Yes, we do normally match up well. But I'll tell you what, even at our worst over the last couple of years, this team hasn't sounded or hasn't looked this despondent at all. Like, this is bad. This team had more fight when Zach and Zoe were both out, and it was just DeMar and everybody else trying to figure it out the last 35 games 2 seasons ago. This is bad. Like, I get it. Yes, we usually match up well against Miami Heat. But this team just feels different. It just feels different and not in a positive way at all. Billy will take 2 nut sacks for people. That's hilarious. V.O. Walker in the building says, Haize, what's good, fam? Appreciate you, man. You're a blessing for Bulls Nation. Keep shining, fam. Well, I appreciate that, and hopefully I can keep being a blessing even amongst all my crazy shenanigans. Hopefully that's the case. Haize, you good, my boy. You went in, but I felt you were coming from bruh. I felt where you coming from, bruh. Jimmy was right, and this front office is about to choose Billy over Zach. And I really do like you would think they would have learned. Now it's a completely different front office, right? But you would think that they would learn from the mistakes of their predecessors. Usually choosing a coach over a player does not work out unless it's a Hall of Fame coach. Because then at that point, like any player that has a problem with Pop, you're going to typically look at the player and say, no, that's probably on you, right? Anything less than that, you really got to look at it and say, it's not that, man. It's not that. Like, so, and that's not to say that Zach is perfect either, because he's damn sure not a perfect player. But it's just, when it comes down to it, it's just like, what has Billy shown? He has a 41% win percentage, 41 win percentage as the head coach of the Chicago Bulls. And if it wasn't for the one season that we had above 500 when we had that 35 game stretch with Lonzo Ball, we're talking about a coach that has like a 36, 37 win percentage. And what world does it make sense to hold on to that coach, right? To hold tight like they've done something. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. By the end of the season, that beard is going to be grizzled and gray. You'll be smoking cigarettes and drinking moons. No, I won't, because listen, I cover the Chicago Bears also. I'm now on my second season of covering the Chicago Bears. If the Bears don't turn my beard gray, I'm good. I'm almost 40. Ain't nothing gray on me yet, but a couple of nutsack hairs. So I'm good. I'm good. I feel like I'm all right. Let's see what we got. Otilio Jose says, I thought that nothing could be worse than Jim Boylan times. I was wrong. It's close. Definitely close. Definitely close on that one. Humble Servant says, Haize, what up, my guy? My wife and I loved your rant. She was going off as well during the game. Billy got to go. Tired of players in the Bulls organization getting wild out and stupid coaches. listen, at the end of the day, it's terrible. Like the place that this franchise is in right now, the culture that we have here in Chicago right now, amongst multiple sports, unfortunately, is ass. Like it's ball cheeks out here, man. That's really what it comes down to. It's bad. It's bad. Scott says Bam is a bigger problem than usual. I mean, listen, Bam is always going to be Bam. That's all that like, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Bam is a beast. So I don't mean that in any negative connotation towards Bam Adebayo. Hey, shout out to your barber. He got you right. Listen, my barber uses vibranium clippers. That's what it is, man. What are the chances that AK is not mad at losing and really wants Jerry and gang to lose money? I think that never wanted Billy. Jerry did the deal because AK couldn't keep boiling. Well, listen, no, Jerry actually asked AK to keep boiling on. No, and that's the thing. I won't bail anybody else out. Billy Donovan was 100% Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley's choice. That's it. Jerry didn't want him in there. Now he did fall in love with Billy Donovan, but here's what I'll say. At this point, I mean, AK got to sit in bed. He brought in Billy Donovan to quote unquote develop, and we ain't developed a goddamn thing. A goddamn thing. TBO in the building says, yo, Haize, your hairline's looking good tonight. Listen, I told y'all I got my original hairline. I be trying to tell y'all. Y'all be thinking I'm lying. Y'all think I wear hats because I have to wear hats. I wear hats because I choose to wear hats. I'm not bald at all. And by the way, that rant was classic. I felt every bit of it. Man, listen, and the thing that I never want to do that, like, I never want anybody to think that I rant for the clicks or I rant for anything else. Like, for those that got to watch that whole show, you know that that I legitimately ramped up as that show went on. Like I came in here really trying to just deliver a solid post game show, and then Kev and Steve-O ran in here, and then just thinking about stuff after that, it literally just led me to the place where I was just like, I'm fucking pissed off. And like I said before, the fan in me took over before the content creator. I don't usually let that happen. But hey, listen, I'm a fan first, and I love this team. And unfortunately, that's my thoughts on it, man. Andre McNeil says, man, the Bulls got me so heated. I work at the United Center, and they got me wanting to leave. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, are you not working tonight? I'm glad you got the night off. How about that? V-Dog says, I completely agree with Casey Johnson on his podcast with Jason Goff yesterday. The experience needs to be over with the P-Will. Trade him as soon as... No, it's stupid to trade P-Will now because his values at all... Like, you're not getting nothing back for P-Will, but maybe a couple of nutsack hairs. Like, that's really it. There's not much else you're going to get back for the time to trade P-Will, honestly, the best time that would have been to trade P-Will would have been after he came back from his wrist injury. That would have been his second season. That was the best time to trade P-Will. And it's just been all downhill from there. So TBO says, Zach has athleticism, but no heart or basketball IQ, not a winner. I mean, a lot of people share that opinion, brother. A lot of people share that. Says, Haize, where do you think the Bulls would be if the Bulls had Mike Budenholzer? Not very much different. I don't think they'd be very different. Like, and that's the thing. Bucks fans feel the exact same way about Coach Bud as we at the end of that run as we felt about Billy Donovan. The only thing that separates them is that Coach Bud had a generational player on his team and a pretty good constructed team at that, and was able to win a title. That's the only thing that separates them. I don't think Coach Bud is that much of a better coach over Billy Donovan to where I think it changes much of the trajectory of the Chicago Bulls personally. Reinsdorf is definitely in love with Billy. Oh, for sure. For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stefan the Don in the building says Heat win tonight. Listen, you are legitimately the only real Heat fan that I know in the world. If we had to trade Zach, who would you want to? I've said it on today's daily episode. The San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs have the young talent, and they have the future first-round picks, and they have our own first-round pick they can remove the protection from as well. So there's a couple of reasons why I think the Spurs, out of the rumored places and destinations for Zach LaVine, probably could offer the best package. So Jack Collins says, I am mentally not this team tonight. Hey, listen, what your mental isn't prepared for, alcohol is. Go and take a couple of shots there, brother. Go and take a couple of shots, man. Yo, Haize, would you trade DeMar and Vooch for Rory, Jalen Hood, Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes plus 2 picks? I don't think that even comes close to working as far as salary. The Bulls debacle was 50% on Jerry, 30%. I actually will flip that because, again, as I said, ownership has very little to do with the actual day-to-day building of a team. If I'm going to put the 50% on anybody, it's going to be on Acme because they built this roster. They chose the coach. That's it's going to be mainly on them. Probably 30% on Jerry, and then the rest of the 20% just put on Billy Donovan. Right? I don't even care about the players at this point in time, but I'm putting a lot on Billy Donovan. After that rant, Haize, you are my spirit animal. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that and appreciate the super chat, brother. Lots of our issues don't really have much. No, that's not true at all. A lot of our issues do have to do with Billy. Brought in for development, ain't developed a goddamn thing. Lack of a game plan, bad rotation, doesn't ride the hot hand, doesn't play players to even. Yes, we have a flawed roster, but he doesn't even use the players that we have to their biggest strengths. Every player that we've played that plays here, we don't use to their best strength. Kobe White is a scorer. Not a shooter, he's a scorer. He is developing nice as far as understanding how to pass better. He developed nice as a defender as well, but he's a scorer. He needs the ball in his hands. He doesn't have the ball in his hands much. Zach LaVine, best he comes in is off catch and shoots. You know how many catch and shoots we run for Zach LaVine? Less than 3%. DeMar DeRozan is the one player that's used probably to his strength because he's a mid-range assassin and Billy Donovan lets him does what he wants. Nikola Vucevic, his first season, was forced to be a three-point shooter, not a spot-up three-point shooter. Then he likes to do posts and dives, but Billy Donovan runs post-ups for him, even though he's not truly a post-up player. It's a lot that I can speak to. There's a lot that Billy Donovan does to put this team in the wrong position. A lot of it. Can't even watch this game. I wish the Bulls luck, but I don't know how much that would do. Hey, Aiden, I definitely agree with you on that one, bro. Definitely agree with you, man. The rant was right up there with Dennis Green's rant after the Monday night loss to the Bears. The Bulls are who we thought they were. Hey, listen, that's crazy. That's crazy. Low key, Zach P. Will, IO for Kyle Tyler, first round in the pick swap. Bro, what you smoking, man? What you smoking? What you smoking? You're not getting IO, bro. You're not getting him. You're not getting him. Zach Holland and Acme extended his bubblegum ass before we knew if he was worth it or not. Listen, didn't even need to extend him then, right? Didn't need to extend him. You mean to tell me randomness isn't a game plan? That's crazy, but factual. But factual. Until we get a new owner, we will have to settle for acting like, nah, that's not true. Again, and we don't act like a small market team. We just make dumb decisions. But here's what I'll say too, and I said this on Twitter today. With our luck and where the Chicago Bulls are, Jerry Reinsdorf will sell the team, and the new owners will move the team out of Chicago. Like, so listen. He's not lying. It's a dedication to come here after long games. You still come out here, speak your piece. Not only that, but you speak for all of us, especially me because my mouth is wild. Well, Rue, I appreciate you on that one, bro. Definitely appreciate you, man. Stefan the Don, bro. That's my listen. I love that dude, man. You crazy though, bro. You definitely crazy. Glad Drummond's getting more minutes. Me too. Definitely, definitely. I am. Um, Sohan, Robin, like Devin Vassell, Ty Jones. Ty Jones isn't there anymore, right? Trey Jones. I'm tripping. I'm thinking about Tyus Jones for some reason. He was never even on that team. No. So the thing that I would look at if I'm the Spurs, right? Well, if I'm the Bulls and the Spurs call and they really do want Zach, which still kind of weird to me that they would, Keldon Johnson has to be in the conversation. And Malachi Branham, I would want to. But yeah, I wouldn't mind Trey Jones. If they offer Devin Vassell, I'm taking that all day too. We can make everything else work. But the thing that benefits that's even more than that, the Spurs have like first round picks. They have like 2 or 3 first round picks in every draft for the next 3 years. So they got the assets. They definitely got the assets. Jay says contemplating dropping a shroom before this game. Whoa. That's crazy. That's wild, bro. You going straight to the shrooms? That's crazy, man. Hey, I mean, do what you got to do, bro. Ain't no judgment here. Antoine Johnson says, "What up, Haize? We are back tonight for another ass kicking tonight." Listen, we all think that's when the Bulls will come out and just completely obliterate the Miami Heat. And like I said, I honestly probably would be more pissed if the Bulls do win this game outright. Like, I'd be more pissed. Who on Toronto would you want? Nobody. I'm good. I'm good on Toronto. No, let me not say that. They got the contracts, right? So would they? I don't know what Toronto would want. You probably think it has to start with OG, right? OG is probably the first piece that they're offering. The problem with Toronto is that, to my recollection, off the top of my head, I don't think they have a lot of firsts that they can offer outright. So you're looking at OG and Anunoby for sure, just as a baseline, right? 26 years old, so you kind of reset your timeline a little bit on that. Maybe Chris Boucher as well, right? Maybe Precious, because they'll have a young center. I don't know, man. I don't like Toronto's assets as much as I do some of the other teams. So eating hamburger helper, so no chance Bulls can disappoint me tonight. That's crazy. An adult eating hamburger helper in 2023 is wild. That's levels of struggle that I'm just not sure my brain is able to contemplate right now. That's crazy. I think we all knew that this team could have a bad season, but it's incredibly frustrating how bad it's been so early on. Team doesn't give us any hope for the almost 70 games left. That's the biggest thing that sucks in all this, right? Is they haven't given us even a shred, really, of something to have some true hope on. So yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Just to think we didn't take Udoka, we have Billy C. Red, I guess. I mean, listen, the women in Chicago, Udoka definitely would probably been fired for smashing somebody's wife. But listen, Udoka was a finalist, right? In that coaching search, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he wasn't a finalist. Maybe we just interviewed him once or twice. So we'll see. I would like Thad back from Toronto simply because he plays with heart and won't get carried off the basketball court like a child. Listen, if that's the thing that you're worried about and what could be what this level of deal is, you worried about the wrong shit, Reginald. Real talk. I don't give a fuck about Thad playing with heart. We need young talent that still has some room to develop. That's it. B. Daly says nothing wrong with hamburger helper. Ain't nothing right with hamburger helper either, though, my brother. In this modern day Butler Hoiberg choice, I mean, it seems like it's something similar. I ain't no damn adult yet. I'm 16. I still got a few years, and then I got to become a big boy. That is hilarious. Well, enjoy your hamburger helper there, young man. Enjoy the hamburger helper. That's crazy. That's wild. What's up, bro? Just curious. Instead of running ISO for DeMar, why not run curls or any mid-range off ball like Rick Hamilton and Eddie Jones? Just wondering, because DeMar is a terrible off ball player. That's just what it comes down to. DeMar DeRozan is not good off ball at all. Like, he's better when he has the ball in his hands. His efficiency off like catch and shoots or not having the ball is terrible. So it's always going to default back to him ending up in the mid range. He's just not that type of player. I get where you're coming at, right? And so I don't want to make it seem like I'm not saying that you're crazy or anything. It's just it doesn't work well for him. Do you think Vooch will maybe want to leave as well? I don't know. The foreign players, and this isn't to categorize them all the same, they typically don't leave their teams. So they usually are really, really loyal. So I don't know. I don't see it necessarily. Chicago Bulls Central, good night from Nassau, Bahamas, Miami Heat all the way. Hey, listen, I can't blame you on picking that at all. What do you think of the theory that DeRozan stunted Levine's growth, being both like to have the ball and DeRozan getting a lot of fourth takeover moments? Either way, number 8 needed to make the setup work. He failed. Well, yeah, I mean, Lonzo was there to make it all work, but here's what I'll say. Zach LaVine had 5 years to grow before he got paired with DeMar DeRozan. if you are the only player on your team and you haven't learned that, I don't like they brought DeMar here because Zach didn't have that killer instinct in the fourth quarter. Zach LaVine in the fourth quarter becomes extremely turnover prone. So I can't say per se that he's really studied Zach LaVine's growth. Zach LaVine is who we thought they were. And for the first season before Lonzo went down and before Zach went down on injury, Zach LaVine was having one of his most efficient seasons playing next to DeMar DeRozan. So, it is what it is there. Henry Drell deserves a roster spot. No, he doesn't. I'm sorry. I watch every G League game. Henry Drell has talent, and I do think that eventually with the right development, he can be a shooter in the NBA, but he's not ready for a roster spot, not yet. Crazy as well as DeMar saying we're thinking too much and we need to just play with the flow. I actually see it, and it's evident. Yeah, I agree with that too, right? Dan Miles says, how about SGA for LaVine? Listen, if the Oklahoma City Thunder are stupid enough to trade SGA for Zach LaVine, you take that deal, you run away, and you hang up the phone and never call them back, because that would be a fleecing. That would be an absolute fleecing. I hear you're getting young talent in here, bro, but my concern is Zach will be dealt, but Acme will continue to double down probably on staying mid. No, listen, be prepared. We're still going to try to compete. That's the thing. So the reason why the Bulls do want future assets and the other team's first round picks is that way the AK can still try to build a team that can do something now, but then you have the first round picks from the other team to come in, so it's not determined upon your record. So that's kind of what things are going right now. Sydney says, I'm curious as to why Zach all of a sudden wants to request a trade when he talks about his loyalty all these years. Where's the loyalty at now? Well, I mean, listen, here's the thing. In fairness, right? Outside of being a Chicago Bulls fan, I respect a player that wants to compete and that looks at the situation and where they are and say, hey, it doesn't seem like we're going to dig ourselves out of this. I don't trust the front office. I don't trust coaching. I want to go. But then also it's become more commonplace in the NBA right now where players lock in their deals, right? Because they can sign, because he couldn't sign for as much as he got with Chicago anywhere else. And then you see them at request a trade later. Like Clutch Sports, this isn't the first time they've done that. Won't be the last time either. So it is what it is there. It's just the modern NBA, unfortunately. And it sucks. And right now, like I said before, we are absolutely standing in dog shit right now. That's where we are. That is where we are as a franchise, and it sucks. Austin says, hey, Haize, do you think once LaVine is gone, the mentality of the team will improve? Well, hey, if you listen to my interview with Daniel Greenberg, that's truly what he thinks. That is truly what he thinks. So to be fair, Sydney, it's been a whole year of straight trade rumors. I get tired of it after the first month, let alone the whole year. Well, keep in mind, yes, there's trade rumors, but there's trade rumors because the Bulls are struggling. There's always going to be trade rumors around a team that's struggling, that has a player that was young and still has upside. Like, there's always going to be that. So if that's the reason why he needs to get out of his feelings, because the Bulls weren't shopping him. It'd be different if the Bulls were shopping him. But either way, like I said, you just sometimes players just want to win, and that's what it is. What's the point of getting young talent when we can't even develop the talent that we have now? Really, not even trying to. It's just that. It's the hope. It's the hope, right? And sometimes players develop regardless of the franchise that they're on, right? We've seen players on bad franchises still develop. So it's that hope. It's that hope of getting the next player that's going to have such a high ceiling and work ethic that they hit, that they're going to exceed the expectations. Why don't the Bulls run the offense short of like Miami with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh? Zach carry the team through the game and let DeMar close and let Vooch be Vooch, because we have a head coach that's a fucking idiot. Keep in mind that coach had Eric Spoelstra there. This team has Billy Donovan. That's a big part of it. The Windy City Bulls are more entertaining at this point. Snago and Phillips putting in work. OB2. Hey, listen, I'm telling y'all, this is why. And don't forget, tomorrow will be the second episode of the Windy City Bulls focus episode. So I'll be dropping my normal daily episode tomorrow, and then in the middle I'll be dropping episode focused on the Windy City Bulls. What we do there, we recap the games of the week, over the biggest performances, and then I talk about how the performances of certain players could apply to the whatever go up and down in the NBA, things like that. So that first episode that I did that on got over 1,000 views, and honestly, I was really surprised because people generally don't care about G League basketball. So the fact that many people showed out and showed up for that episode and really enjoyed it, man, really truly meant the world to me because, like I said, I don't expect a lot of people to kind of show up for that type of thing. But they really did in that case. And it was a fun episode. I had fun bringing it and delivering it. And I'm really glad that people enjoyed it and actually got something out of it because not everybody has the time or the access to watch G League basketball. So if I can close that gap a little bit for everyone, listen, that's why we say we're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, right? Including the G League affiliate now. So really happy with how that episode turned out. And I will keep bringing those as long as you guys keep telling me and showing me that you like it. So there you go on that one. The run around here is that they would want to pair Wemby with an all-star to help growth. Also, Pop Coach Levine. And listen, and if I'm Greg Popovich, right, Greg Popovich has the right to feel like as far as he can develop any player that he can get the best out of him because he's that level of coach. So let's hope. Listen, you put Zach LaVine with Greg Popovich, I guarantee you some of those bad habits get coached out of him. Zach LaVine started his career in Chicago with guard packs, and now he has AK. It's pretty much impossible not to understand him wanting out of this shit show. Listen, I feel you on that one. Damn, Haize out here with a lineup sharper than Zach's handles. That's funny. It doesn't take much to be sharper than Zach LaVine's handles, that's for sure. No starting lineups out now. They listen, as soon as I start giving them props for always having the lineups out about 30 minutes before game time, they start failing me, man. It's crazy. It's wild. What's good, Haize? I hope things change for the better tonight, but overall, time and time again proves that Billy is not the right coach for this team. Completely agree with you. Zach showing his colors and not willing to improve on the little things it takes to win. There's no way he can play with Jimmy. The only thing that I'll use to fight that back end is coaching and culture, right? Eric Spoelstra, people would tend to be willing to do a lot more for Eric Spoelstra and learn from him than what they would Billy Donovan. So I won't necessarily say that that's the case. I do think there's a possibility that you're right, but I won't bet that being the case outright. So that Windy City Bulls episode was fire. Well, I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I really appreciate being able to deliver any content that's appreciated, but I always love it as well when I know I'm doing something that not a lot of people are doing, and not a lot of people are covering the Windy City Bulls or giving that type of coverage and I understand it. This ain't to slight anybody or say other creators are stupid for not giving you guys Windy City Bulls stuff, but the way I look at it is that like I always said, I want this to be a one-stop spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. So I want anybody who is interested in the Windy City Bulls or wants to hear about, hey, how is this player that we drafted performing down there? You can come get that analysis here. I'm the only one doing it. And Julian Phillips is down there absolutely cooking right now. So publicly don't want to retool, fire BD and call up AC or Memphis if they lose and clean house, Reinsdorf sell the team, have them make the money and leave. Listen, Reinsdorf ain't selling this team though, Dan. I get where you get coming from, but it's not happening. Yeah, with the rebuilding site, Windy City Bulls stuff is more interesting for the rookies developing aspect of it. Keep it up. If you add some footage of some highlights, I did add. What are you talking about? I had footage and highlights in it. Literally, any player that I talked about, I played. There's not a lot of highlights that come out of Windy City Bulls games, but I did play highlights in there. I know you probably want more, but it's G League. It's just not enough in there. And the camera quality, they film G League videos in 720p. I record in 6K. So for me to upscale the videos, it looks like even bigger shit. That's why I don't play too much of it, because I don't want it to look like complete and utter crap. Been extended Ownership doesn't fire coaches. We are stuck. Donovan with a younger group that is coachable and hustles, maybe better suited to what he wants to run, wherever that is. Ownership doesn't fire coaches. Listen, we fired Scott Skiles when he still had time on his contract. We fired Vinny Del Negro when he still had a year left on his contract. We fired Tom Thibodeau when he still had, I think, 2 years left on his contract. We fired Fred Hoiberg when he still had a year left on his contract. And we fired Jim Boylan when he still had 2 years left on his contract. We just stopped paying Jim Boylan last year. So, no, we definitely fire coaches. Julian Phillips playing in the G League? Yes. Yes, he is. And on tomorrow's G League video, you'll be able to see and talk, and I'll talk about how well he's actually done down in the G League as well. What Julian is Phillips, and I'll give a little insight on that. Let me give you the stat line. The game isn't over with yet, so keep in mind this game is still in progress. Yes, there's still 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Julian Phillips right now, 5 of 11 for the field. He has 13 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals. That is how a drafted player is supposed to look down in the G League. When a player that was actually drafted goes down to the G League, they are supposed to look like the best player on the court, even if they're not that great in the NBA, right? That was one of the issues with Dalen Terry. He hasn't played because he's been out with injury, but Dalen went down to the G League and just looked like a G League player. Julian Phillips, in his first game in the G League, came in and showed everybody, hey, y'all not on my level. That's what you want to see from a player down in the G League. That's what you want to see from a player down in the G League. Julian Phillips is absolutely cooking down there. So Archangel says, really appreciate and enjoy the Windy City coverage. Windy City actually provides us a few rays of hope right now. Hey, I definitely agree with you on that one. Only downside to your Windy City Bulls episode was the background highlights having. Yeah, I fucked up on that one. That will not be the case this time, but I did fuck up on that one. It was only in the opening clip. The rest of them, no. But that opening clip, I don't know how the fuck I'm not even gonna lie. I have no fucking idea how I did that. None. I was like, what? I looked back and I was like, what the hell? What the hell? But it won't happen again. I never make the same mistake twice. Never make the same mistake twice. Haize, which Reinsdorf owned team has the worst looking future right now? The White Sox or the Bulls? I think it's the White Sox. Hey, listen, it's definitely the White Sox. And that's just, I'm a White Sox fan too. So it's not just because I'm doing a Bulls show. The White Sox future, even though they started off free agency, okay, I still don't look at it and be like, hey man, what we doing here? Marco did not do the same thing. Marco looked solid in the G League. He did not look like he was just head and shoulders above the talent in the G League. Again, I have watched every single Windy City Bulls game for the last 3 years. Marko Simonovic has never looked like he was just clearly the best player on the court. Matter of fact, Marko Simonovic looked better when he was sharing the court with Dalen Terry because Dalen could feed and he found Marko Simonovic in transition. Marco never looked like Julian Phillips looked right now. Never, especially defensively. Marko Simonovic put up some solid scoring and rebounding stats, but he never looked defensively like, you got to stop with that one, bro. You got to stop. Haize, do you agree with me that players like Dalen Terry who come in raw offensive game or raw game should be under a coach like Greg? No, I mean, you just need a player development staff. And hopefully now that we have one, that's going to work. Here we go again. We'll summarize first. Behind 20 by the first half, lose by 5 in the end. Go Bulls. That's funny. Caruso starting again. Yeah, Billy Donovan already said that the starting lineup isn't going to be changing anytime soon. So I'm not surprised if they did. Yep, they released the Caruso starting at the 4 again. But we already knew that was the case. Marcoux says, Haize, you think a Bulls players watch your video before? I mean, I don't know if they have. Hopefully it was the right one. It wasn't fucking uterus having asses, but you know, it is what it is there. I love Windy City Bulls episodes. Only problem is some of the audio. Yeah, I already talked about that. That never happened again. I fucked that up. Never, because I don't usually play a highlight. So I honestly, I fucked that up. It won't happen again, though. Won't happen again. Yeah, actually, Julian Phillips has played in 5 games so far this season for the Bulls. It's all been garbage time, but he's checked into 5 games. So there you go on that one. for whatever that's worth. Can you fire somebody with a mystery number of years? Yes, you just still got to pay them for whatever's in the actual contract. But AK did he or did he not? No, AK never said that. That was things that was comparisons. Anytime a young player's draft, a young foreign center's draft, another they make, AK never came out and compared him to Jokic. He didn't. So no, that was something that the media did. Not AK never did that. Thanks for answering my question earlier. If number 8 doesn't want to be on the Shy, and since he hasn't been able to elevate them to a winning team, then time to trade. What's next? Rebuild or other approach? Well, from everything that we've heard, they're not going to go full rebuild. So they're looking for pieces where they can compete now into future first round picks. So shaking my head. Yeah, it is hard to get rebounds, but here's the thing. You're trying to find energy. Yes, you're not getting the rebounds, but guess what? When the Bulls were getting the rebounds, they weren't getting any fucking wins then either. So you're mixing things up to try to say, hey, all right, now, especially with Alex Caruso shooting better, maybe the added shooting helps us gets wins. How much more years did they extend Gum for? We don't know. They still haven't released it. We have no idea. None. That may be extended on a 10-year contract for all we know. We will never know because they have not released the terms of that contract at all yet. Shay, you're not keeping it real. You're just not paying attention to the facts. Zach LaVine requested a trade. This is not just the Bulls just saying we're going to make a move. He requested a trade. He's out of there. It's going to happen. It's going to happen after December 15th. Zach is gone. Just go ahead and prepare your soul for it. Do you have confidence that Acme will change the draft strategy to go after prospects who are NBA ready? Well, listen, there are only so many quote unquote NBA ready prospects. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to still go the best talent available. And if hopefully it's like talents that at least have a skill set that you can bet on then, right? That you're not waiting on everything to develop later. But hey, no. And Terry at the 4, work at the 3, Terry at the 4. Bro, what are you talking about? You mean Torrey Craig? But P Will at the 3, like P Will ain't, you ain't gonna bench DeMar DeRozan for P Will, and P Will's playing like booty cheeks. You're just not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Why is this man saying P Will starting? I have no idea. Any chance Bulls hire an assistant coach to handle offensive schemes? No. I mean, if they were going to do that, they already would have had a coach. It's very rare that you do that. Usually it's collaborative between the coach. The very few times does a head coach use their assistants, kind of like in the NFL, right? Tibbs was one of those. Doc Rivers, he was basically the defensive coordinator of that team, right? But that's very rare, very rare. Bro, Dan, lay off the weed, bro. Like, I love you. Thank you for always supporting. You got to stop. Like, let it go. Stop. Stop. Go get some stripper ass, bro. Like from JDH. He'll tell you where to get some at. You got to stop with the trade ideas, man. Got to stop with the trade ideas, bro. No team's going to give us anything for. Oh, that's a fact, too. That's a fact. No, Javon Carter and Torrey Craig have played together. They played together quite a few minutes. It's that we haven't seen Javon Carter and Torrey Craig out there at the same time with the core 3. But Javon and Torrey have played together for sure. Haize, if we would have kept Pat Bev, do you think we would have? I don't think so. I don't think Pat Bev really changes the stuff that we've seen going on with this team. Personally, I don't. Personally, I don't. It's really crazy because I bought tickets before the season versus the Celtics, and this downfall was the last thing I was expecting to happen. Listen, some Bulls fan expected this, some didn't. Some didn't. It's so rare to see with no Bulls gear. Pause, pause. Not bad. That's funny. I after my rant yesterday, I'm taking a break from the Bulls gear, at least a 1 game break. Because I'm over it. Like I'm just over it. So we'll see what comes of it after that. We'll see what comes of it. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap things up. We're about 10 minutes from game time. I'll be back at halftime. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. Trying to get to that goal of 20,000 subscribers by the end of the season. So thank you guys if you guys can get me there. Make sure you're following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail, 773-270-2799. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And like I like 10, everything on Go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all.